Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of my wicso. In this episode, we will see quite a lot of, plot building events take place. And yeah, let's get into it. First event is Kuwait's oligarchy getting larger and expanding and creating more trade colonies. All these white dots are the new colonies. And yeah, the Kuwait will probably enjoy a lot of money from this. To Iberia, we will see the Galician troops finally arrive up in the north, and they'll be making an impressive counteroffensive against these guys, pushing them, outside of the capital city and taking both their exclaves. And this isn't good for these guys because, as we can see, the stability map. Oh yeah, no, they are stable. Let me fix this. No, they are not stable anymore. They're gonna collapse. And yeah, everyone in Iberia is unstable. And these guys are really the only stable country, but they will be invaded. This purple team is kind of looking to form their, a great empire. So they will push into this country, taking a major city and a town, before they get jumped by the southern neighbour that they literally just split off of. And yeah, what their major city falls and the capital is under siege. So yeah, this country isn't doing too well. Yeah, side note on Iberia, this is so messy. Like, just look at all of this. This is horrific. But down to Galicia, we will see a good thing happen. Galician boats will start exploring Africa, but there is no time for exploration because, they're at war with some very strong nations. One, yeah, Galicia, not Galicia, Andalusia, whatever they are, they begin to push back. I'm just going to call them Gibraltar. They will begin absolutely destroying the Iberian king. And the king's forces are thinking of, completely surrendering. But the king himself will step out and he'll say, no, you're not going to surrender. We're going to fight until we die. Now, not too far away, we will go over here. And we will see, unfortunately for these guys, there's going to be a landing. And this is the Grand Sicilian Empire. And yeah, Sicily, everyone knows what they're trying to do. And it is working. They're becoming extremely strong. And they're quite stable. They're yellow stability, and these guys were orange, so yeah, they got invaded. And also see Monaco bombarding this small Genoa country, and they will move their armies in the next day, and Genoa will fall very fast. And this isn't even a city; that's a town. And yeah, Genoa's gone. A sad day for the Italian independent countries. Now going up here, we see the Vikings. Nope, here, Finland. Finland is a very interesting nation. They've united with Eastern Finland, and they're it's quite complicated over here. They're not very stable. They're almost in the middle, but a bit worse because, of course, these two countries don't really want to be together. They kind of have to be together because they're going to get invaded by the Vikings if they're not. And yeah, they begin exploring the sea, put some boats out. Very cold. They don't really get anywhere. But they will be expanding north. Boom, Finland has expanded north. Down here, this area is still very chaotic, and we will see a country expand. We can see this yellow country take this modest amount of land, and now their leader says that they're going to go into a state of isolationism so they can build up their military and probably go on a conquest soon. Another country we see expand is this pink country. And this pink country isn't as weak as they look. They're actually decently strong. And they will claim, oh my god, not that much land. They will be claiming this land. And yeah, this is good for them. They're a very stable nation, are they? Yeah, they are. And yeah, it's quite good for them. Now we will see a new country. This is mainly people who hate the Greeks, like full-on Greek migrants. They sympathise very, very much with the Adriaticans on their, hate for Greece. And they will place their capital right here on the Dnieper River. And this is the Ukrainians, and they're very anti-Greek. These Ukrainian peoples, they believe that Crimea needs to be a part of Ukraine, not wants to be a part of Ukraine, needs to be a part of Ukraine. They believe it is a sole component of their nation and that it belongs to them. So tensions with, them in Greece will quickly rise, and then the Ukrainians will begin a very large campaign of just expanding. And this works all right because, it stops the Greeks from making any landings in Ukraine, but there's still a lot of opportunities over here. For the next few years, everything is well. There'll be more war over in Iberia. That'll be covered later. But all of this peace will be disrupted by one shot or stab. Definitely stab. And that stab is down here in Greece. And that stab is right here. There'll be a skirmish along this river, and this skirmish ends in a Romanian life being taken and a Greek advance starting and capturing a town. When the Romanians hear about this, they are enraged and they will begin the first coalition. But who will join this puny little country's alliance? Moldova, Middle Romania, North Romania, Transylvania, West Romania. Just like that, all of Romania is involved. But that's not all. Ukraine, Turkey, Sicily, and last but not least, and the most expected one of them all, Adriatica. This will be the largest war yet of the series, and definitely the most interesting, so I advise you stick around. Yeah, the war's deep when there's naval fronts. Immediately, the Turkish navy has commands to immediately, push up against this Greek navy, and they begin fighting the Greek navy, and this is kind of a jumping. The Greeks did not expect, to get jumped by all these nations. So yeah, their navies will be a little bit crippled. This even, lets Ukraine cross over into the lands that they need so desperate. Here we will see the Greeks make a massive offensive into this small pink Romanian country, completely taking them out the war, and this country surrenders. They also begin an offensive into Moldova. This middle Romania country is also not safe from the Greek rampage as they begin to be invaded. Another country that is definitely not safe is Adriatica as Greek forces begin thundering in, killing, doing mass genocides. And yeah, this is where the Greek navy is at its strongest over here, fighting against the Adriaticans, because their hate for the Adriaticans is just so bad that they are willing to throw everything at the Adriaticans. And yeah, just like that, they begin taking quite a bit of land up in Adriatica. But remember, Sicily is in this war, and yeah, Sicily's navy is definitely a force to be reckoned with, as they begin battling the Greek navy. And yeah, the Greeks could not let this bit fall because their capital city is here. But yeah, it's not going too well for them over here, as a lot of the navy battles are being won by the Sicilians. And yeah, here we will see a very skilled Greek naval general lead his ships into great victories against the Turks. But there is one battle that will be the most difficult of them all for the Greeks. The famous admiral and his ships will sail towards the Turkish lands until they hit a massive Turkish force of ships. And the next battle over here is the most bloody naval battle so far of the war. And it comes out, as unfortunately for the Greeks, a Turkish victory after, the Turkish target the admiral's ship and sink it. But still over here, the Greeks will push back against the navy of Ukraine and Moldova, because Moldova's navy is non-existent, and Ukraine's navy is very weak because they're a new country, and yeah, it doesn't go too well for them. But they're going to keep their landing on Crimea until they can't, and they begin being pushed back to this last town. Here we will see the Greeks, make horrible things to the people of Sicily as they push across the Italian boot, taking a lot of land very, very fast. And this really does prove the skill of the Greek army, one of the strongest, or if not the strongest, in the world. Here, Adriatica will try and make an offensive, and this offensive will go quite well actually. And that goes well until it doesn't, because another famous Greek general will encircle a massive amount of troops, and they'll all be stuck in the city for another very, very bloody siege. And the siege will be lost, and the Greek offensive will continue up onto Adriatica, as the Adriaticans' main line of defence has been defeated. The Adriaticans are not doing too well in this war, but they kind of expected this, but okay, they thought they were going to do a bit better. But yeah, right now they're just being slapped around. Due to the confusion in Sicily, we will see a massive Greek battalion of ships hit the front lines, completely breaking them apart. And yeah, this is where the front lines between Greek navy and Sicilian navy is very unclear. And they just begin going back and forth, blowing up each other's ships, killing everyone, and yeah, it's very brutal. Here, unfortunately for the Turks, their Aegean Sea navy will be defeated by the Greeks, and I just realised that these islands aren't actually owned by Greece. That's just my error, because they definitely would be by now. And this is the most concerning part of the war for the Turks. Greek forces land on their shore and begin flocking into their nation, taking cities and towns very easily. And the Turkish people are extremely worried, as they do not want to die. Greece is, yeah, they're just evil. They're really evil. I like them, to be honest, but they are evil. But the Greeks are still having trouble in Crimea, because there'll actually be a massive offensive over here. And how does this happen? The people do not want to be Greek over here. They believe they are Ukrainian blood, even though, Ukraine was not here when they were founded. But yeah, they believe they're Ukrainian blood, and this means that they all rebel under Ukraine, and the Greek navy will actually suffer some heavy losses to the much, much weaker Ukrainian navy, which is very concerning. But all is well, because Moldova is being absolutely blitzed, and now they share a land front line, proper land front line, with Ukraine, and troops begin thundering into Ukraine very, very fast. And this is really bad for the square team. They are losing on every single front line, except this navy front line. But still, it looks like the square team is cracking, and they are. This Romanian country will be surrendering. Moldova can also not take any more and will be surrendering. This country, who is not even really touched, will surrender. These guys in Transylvania will not surrender, and they will hold a very hard defensive line on their border, along with the Adriaticans, who are losing. And now it looks like this massive coalition will lose. The Greeks have gotten the best of them, and it's not looking in their favour, but all is well. Because the winged hussars have arrived. And not only them, but the red team. This war just went to a Greek victory, for a formidable force to fight. Immediately, we will see the Greeks begin to, crash out and blitz Adriatica, taking a lot of land very fast. But remember that the troops from Poland and the red team, they're coming fast, and they have arrived, and they begin absolutely packing punches on the Greek troops. But Greece is not nothing compared to these two countries, and they are still quite equal, but Greece is definitely outnumbered here. Nevertheless, Greeks hate the Greek government, Greek king. His hate will show for the Sicilians, as he keeps on beating on the already dead government. Well, they're not all dead, but most of them are. And he begins getting dangerously close to the capital. And this makes a massive withdrawal from a ton of land in the sea. Just like this, a lot, yeah. They just begin withdrawing ships from everywhere. So, cause yeah, they're basically going in boat conscription. Like, if you have enough boat, if you have like a boat from anywhere, they're gonna take it. Fishing boats, warships now. They need all the ships they can get, because they really just don't want to fall to the Greeks. No one wants to fall to the Greeks. The Greeks are probably gonna kill you all. And the Sicilians will actually be able to make a landing before it gets repelled, and the Greeks will advance and take all of their Italian lands, and it's looking bad for Sicily. So finally, Ukraine will make a counteroffensive pushing the Greeks to the Moldovan front, and the red not the red team. The Greeks will fortify this river so the Ukrainians may not pass. But like I said earlier, all is well because the Polish troops are now steamrolling through these Greek claims. As you know, these places, they're seeing the Polish troops arrive and they are uprising against the Greeks as they believe that this is their second chance. Even this country that surrendered without being touched will be fully liberated by themselves. And here we begin to see the largest battle form. Greek troops are being pushed back on the Adriatic front, and this major city here is very populated and it's been taken by the Greeks. And the Greeks will stay here and they're requested to come outside and surrender. But one thing they were taught is to never surrender, as they believe that they will be granted eternal punishment if they do. So these Greeks will remain here for years. They begin just eating people, killing everyone. It is the most gruesome place in the war. But eventually, in one unlucky day for the Greeks, this entire fortress will fall and millions, not millions, probably actually though, a lot of people have been killed. Over here we will see the Greeks be pushed back heavily of Adriatic. They're losing to Adriatica over here. And the Adriaticans will send troops down into Italy, but they don't have the same type of Sicily doesn't have the same type as oh yeah, we want to be liberated as all these other countries do. They're not motivated for this war. Most people are actually somewhat okay with Greece. The government wasn't really. So yeah, it's quite complicated. But as this happens, the Greeks have finally beaten the navy of Sicily and they've captured Malta, which is a major military base, and they have now opened ground to the capital city. They will cross their boats through here, and yeah, their boats will just begin taking everything. And it just, yeah, Sicily is cooked, literally deep fried, more than that. But yeah, as the navy front continues to get a lot worse, the capital city is being bombarded, and Sicily itself will be surrounded, and the colonies are worried. Nothing to fear, because Turkey is conscripting, and hundreds upon thousands of Turkish troops will begin absolutely, destroying this Greek front line, kicking the Greeks back and nearly off their land. And the Turkish people are hit with a new wave of motivation to kill the Greeks, massacre them like they did to them. Even the Turkish navy will come back over here. And yeah, the Greek navy, especially in these areas, are being absolutely obliterated by the much smaller navies because they're stupid and they lost that admiral. Just like that, Moldova will be fully liberated. And this is a great day and people will celebrate this in Moldova for the next few years. Even the country who practically kick-started this entire war will begin to be liberated. And the Greek king, he knows this. He knows that his country is not going to win this war. But what he can do is try and be as brutal as he can in the time he has left. The Greeks will continue suffering on the Adriatic front and also suffering on this front. This isn't pretty. Yeah, the Greek population is taking a massive hit from this. And yeah, it's just really, really bad. But it is now that the Polish and Red Team ships have arrived and they will begin hitting up against the border, taking a ton of the waters back. And yeah, this will begin some of the largest naval battles of this war, as the navy of the Greeks is being pushed back very, very heavily. Malta will be captured again. And yeah, the Greeks are officially losing this war. Now we will see all of this area surrender over to the Sicilians. And also, this area begins to crumble The Greek navy does not want to fight this war. They know that they're not gonna they're not gonna win, and their king is rogue, and he might just make them go out and kill as many ships as they can, and then blow themselves up. These people, they're families. They don't want to die, so they will be abandoning Greece, and they'll be heading for Crete to create their own country. And this is the new Crete nation, which is very nice. And yeah, they took a lot of ships. This is a lot of sailors are over here and their families. They decided to move over to Crete. And yeah, Crete will begin taking a ton of stuff, a ton of naval assets. And this actually really, really does help the square team. Of course, Crete isn't going to invade Greece. They're just going to take territorial waters from them. But it is now that the Greek king himself will come to realization that he might be executed. Well, he will be executed for the crimes he's committed, and he will get a knife and he will kill himself. Just like that, Greece is left with no one protecting their nation. And yeah, they will begin losing on very many fronts. The navy will collapse. Most of it will just go over to Crete. And yeah, Greece is definitely losing this war. And the Greek armies will begin to disperse. It is now that the Greek capital will be sieged and taken. After a very long war, the Greeks will come to realization that this is an unwinnable fight, and they will capitulate over to the Square Alliance, officially ending the First Adriatic War. So in the peace treaty, we see a lot of nations that did a lot in the war get a lot of land, including Ukraine, who got what they believed as their holy land back. Turkey got all of Thrace. Adriatica expanded quite a lot. Sicily got all of southern Greece and a bit of the Italian boot. And also the sailors have now got a full-on nation in Crete. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had very much of fun with it. And please leave me some recommendations. Yeah, it's very hard to record a wicso. And yeah, goodbye. Also, I'm doing a voiceover right now because the everything corrupted, so I don't really know what to do.